All right, I wanted to go over 4 different non-dom programs and how they work. All 4 of these, except for one, is an EU country. So, we have a lot of people that are interested in EU countries. I personally am a little bit leery of EU countries because I feel like that, eventually they're going to start taxing based on citizenship. I think it's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years. But I think it's important that you know this because this is an option if you want a citizenship and a passport in a non-dom country where you can literally get your taxes down to 0 initially, and in some cases forever. I'm going to show you how it works in this video. And also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to 0, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. Number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Okay, the first country I'm going to talk about is Cyprus. All right, now, one thing I do like about Cyprus is the weather is really good. It's one of the 2 countries I'm going to talk about today where there's a lot of sunshine. You don't have a lot of wet, rainy weather. And there's only like 7 years of residency before you can actually apply for the passport. And remember, this is the non-dom program that leads up to citizenship on the residency by investment. These are not fast-track programs that I'm talking about today. And these are cheaper programs, but it does take a while to get them. They are a lot more predictable than the programs that are in Central or South America. That's really undetermined. One thing I will tell you about the EU, things do work better. They do have a lot of strictness that a lot of people don't like, but their timetables are a lot more predictable. A lot of countries give you timetables, and they just don't meet them anywhere close. Paraguay is one of them. Central America is full of them. And some of the countries in the Caribbean that are not fast-track programs, they don't go by their statutory periods as far as on the residency by investment when you can apply and actually get the passport. Remember, applying and getting the passport are 2 different factors. But one thing I like about Cyprus, it's a 7-year residency program before you can apply for the citizenship and passport. Now, the non-dom status, and let me just tell you a little bit about the non-dom and how it actually works. The non-dom works like this, in that you're only taxed on money that's remitted. Okay, so, and in most of these programs, if you set up a bank account and get everything set up before you set up your residency, tax residency with a non-dom status, that money is actually remitted before the program or the residency program is set up. So if you can actually put enough money in there and have it set up before, and we're talking about money that's actually principal money that you're bringing in, then that money, when you pull it out and use it, due to the fact that you brought it in before you set up the residency program, you will not be taxed on the money at the time that you remit it for use. Now, if you bring money in from outside after the tax residency program is set up and you become a non-dom, then that's a different situation. You would have to pay taxes on that money. But you can determine what you want to pull in. And money that's made outside the country, you can literally make that money tax-free as long as you don't remit it into the country, okay? Now, there is a period of 17 years, and then that non-dom status ends. But what you can do is, if you want, because after that time period, you'd be taxed on your worldwide income if you're living in most countries is 183 days a year, okay, or more. So the way you would, if you're wanting the passport, You can apply for the passport in Cyprus after 7 years. The non-dom ends in 17 years, so you just you can take the passport and then just move out before that 17-year time period comes about, where the non-dom status ends again. So this is the way you can get it, the passport, and do it virtually, tax-free if you plan it right. Okay, the second country I'm going to talk about is the UK, which is not part of the EU. It used to be part of the EU, but they broke away. Now, the EU works a little bit different. It used to have an unlimited time period for their non-dom status. That changed several years ago. Just a few years ago, they changed it. A lot of the liberals went nuts, and so what they did was they came out and they decided to basically the first 7 years, there would be no taxes on money made worldwide unless you remitted it back into the UK. And then after the 7-year period, up to the 12th year period, there's a £30,000 minimum flat that you pay. And then from 12th to the 15th year, it goes to £60,000 minimum. And then after 15 years, the non-dom status stops, and then you be taxed on your worldwide income. Now, you can apply for the citizenship, roughly, just so if you set up a company in the UK, you can apply for the passport long before the non-dom status ends, as far as on the first 7-year period. So if you plan it right, you set up a local company, you can get the passport before the 7 years is out. And then what you can do is, move to a place that you don't have that, the 30,000 or 60,000 pound minimum. And that's the way you can do that. Of course, the UK has pretty bad weather. As far as I'm concerned, I would not want to live there because of the weather. It is better than Ireland, but I just like nice tropical weather all year round. That's the thing that I like the most. Now, Ireland is another country I wanted to talk to you about. Ireland probably has, in fact, it has the worst weather of any of these four I'm going to talk about. But one thing, there are some advantages of Ireland. One is they have an unlimited non-dom status period. You don't have this break like in the UK after 7 years, where you have to pay a pound minimum. It just goes on forever, like the UK used to have, okay? So you can live there, and if you remit money in before you set the program up, your tax residency program, and then just live off that, and stay there long enough to where you can apply for the passport. Now, in Ireland, you can apply for the passport after about 5 years. And the thing about Ireland too is, if you want to stay there longer, and apply for the passport, later on, that's up to you. But you can apply for the passport and then get out if you want to do that. Most countries, what they'll do is once you get citizenship, the non-dom status changes. Now, one of the countries I'm going to talk about does not, which I'm going to tell you, it's unlimited even when you become a citizen, as long as your domicile wasn't in that country before you became a non-dom. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, one thing too I wanted to mention to you is Ireland does have one big disadvantage other than the weather. It's not a real big problem, but if you leave Ireland and you become a citizen, in other words, let's say you're there, you're a non-dom, and then you get citizenship, you apply for it after 5 years, and then you leave the country, now you got the passport. All right, assuming you didn't get the citizenship based on descent or some sort of marriage type, marrying someone, you just went in and naturalized yourself and your family, or just yourself. You've got one issue you're going to have to deal with, and that is there's a form you have to fill every single year out. And if you don't fill this form out after 7 years, you can lose your citizenship. This is one problem that that you have with that you'd have to maintain that on file once you get the citizenship. That you would have to fill that form out every single year, or you could lose the passport after 7 years of the time that you left. So this is one issue you're going to have to think about. Now, the other one I'm going to talk about is Malta. Now, Malta, as long as you're not born there and your domicile was there to begin with, and you're foreigner coming in, your non-dom status never ends, even if you get citizenship. This is one unique thing that's nice about it. And Malta's got good weather like Cyprus. Cyprus and Malta have the best weather of the two that I'm talking about in here. Malta does have some disadvantages, though. One of them is there is a 5,000 euro minimum. Even if you don't remit any sort of money that's going to be taxable. And by the way, too, Malta will let you remit capital gains, and that is not taxable, even if it's done after the tax period has started. Dividend is taxable, though, but capital gains is not. So this is kind of a unique thing about Malta. But Malta, although the non-dom status continues, even if you get the citizenship there, they're going to hit you with that 5,000 minimum, and that's every year. That's euros too, whether or not you bring in any money into the country at all. It's just a tax they've got that's minimum. The other ones you can keep it to zero initially, depending on how you arrange everything, or you'll pay very little in taxes. Okay. Now, and again, like I said, the non-dom status never ends there in Malta. Even if whether you relinquish your citizenship, you get it, doesn't make any difference. You can still come back. That non-dom status lasts forever, which is that is one advantage if you don't mind paying the 5,000 euros every year. Now, one thing I'd like to mention to you too, if you want to get citizenship in Malta, the only problem is it's going to take you 18 years before you can apply for the passport. So it really has the longest period of time. If you're looking to get a citizenship on the residency by investment, Malta is not the way to go. It's going to take you longer than the other three countries. So, if you're wanting a passport quick, you're looking at the UK and Ireland. They're all are going to be somewhere between 5 and about 7 years of getting the passport, except for Malta. So these are some things that you need to think about. They're all real good passports. It just depends on what you're looking for, where you want to go. I'll be honest with you, if I had to pick the one that I would pick between those four, I would pick Cyprus. Although it has less visa-free travel than the other three, there's not that much difference. And if you look at the countries that you can go to with the other three countries versus Cyprus, I would rather forfeit those other countries. It's not that many. I think it's around 12, give or take around 12 countries, roughly, more with the other ones. But the big thing I like about Cyprus is the weather's good. You get the passport in a reasonable amount of time. And the dividends, I didn't mention this, but the dividends with a Cyprus company is tax-free. Okay? So you can kind of gear your income taxes down to where it's really, really low. Now, the only thing is, you would have to, the non-dom status lasts 17 years, which is a long period. You get the passport long before that because you can apply for the citizenship after about 7 years. And then if you want to get out, you can do that. If you want to stay there, it's up to you. Who knows, the damn tax laws can really change over a 17-year period. So, it might be positive, negative, you have to look at it at that time. But as a whole, looking at those four, if I had to pick those four in a residency by investment option for what you're looking for, weather, I'll be honest with you, if Ireland had better weather, I would pick it because the non-dom status is unlimited. Got real good visa-free travel, but man, the weather is awful. I was there for 2 weeks one time. I was there for 3 days. I was ready to get my butt out. Freezing cold, and this was in the end of June. I said, I'd never come back to this place. Weather is a big thing to me. And so, you know, you have to really look at what you want. But Cyprus has got really good weather. Not quite like the Caribbean, but it's pretty close. You got a lot of sunshine there. So these are some things that I would be looking at. If you want to know more of this, folks, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We got over 700 videos. This is where you get a lot of free information on making right choices before you do it. Save you a lot of money. And don't forget to hit the notification bell next to it. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.